going to start the class. Okay, so last class we were working with the video of the unit, a video that showed the, the conditions in which some people have to use their water, right? Very poor conditions. We were talking or were observing the Yamuna River, which is in New Delhi, India, all right? And yesterday we saw another video, and I want you to see it again because in there I'm going to show you some little parts of it because it's long, but I'm going to show you how bad is this river used by people and also how it affects their health. Okay, I found it interesting. So I'm going to show you again. I'm going to share the screen and okay, we're going to try to see it because I think it is very interesting. Let's see now, here we are. And I'll go here, wait for me. Yesterday we saw some of it. The area is coming too. Yeah, yesterday we saw some of it, but I want you to see it a little bit longer and some particular parts that I want you to see that I consider interesting. Because I consider it so interesting the way some people live in other parts of the world, and also how they are destroying their own rivers, okay, and then they have to drink from that water. Sometimes we do things like that here in Chile, okay. In Chile we also do not care, okay. So it's really sad because it's something that we do all the time, okay. uh, so that is what I wanted to show you. I'm going to upload this video too in order for you to see it slowly. It's also funny to listen to Indian people, the way they talk, right? They have a very special and bad, I would say, bad pronunciation. I wouldn't say it is bad. It's their way of talking, okay? Because English is their first language in some cases, but that is their pronunciation. Yeah. Have you seen what's the name of that series? There was an Indian guy in there that talks like that. Oh, I can't remember the name. It's about the no, it's not about the spaces. There are some physicians in there. Do you know the name of that series? Any of you?
No.
It's very popular. Huh?
The Big Bang Theory.
The Big Bang Theory, yeah. And you see the guy that is in there, he's Indian. And he talks like these people, you know, it's very funny, their pronunciation. But sometimes it's very difficult to understand, okay? Have you ever talked to an Indian person? No?
Yes.
Have you,
No.
Kimberly?
Yeah.
When?
Huh?
When and how?
When I used to live in the States, I
Yeah.
had a lot of Indian classmates.
Yeah, okay.
And they had the same accent.
Yeah, they had that accent. And it's very, very difficult sometimes to understand. Then you get used to it. But at the beginning, it's very complicated because their pronunciation is so different from the one we know, right? We learn to speak good English with good pronunciation, and then you suddenly you find these people. I was I went on a trip to England once many years ago. I wouldn't say like would be like 10 years ago. And I was very happy in England because I was there for like 2 days, but I was thinking about listening to this British accent and all that stuff. But when I went there, I was in a hotel And all the people who worked in the hotel and who served in the hotel, most of them were Indians or Pakistanis. So I could listen only to this kind of accent. So it was very frustrating sometimes. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We're going to go back to the book for a little while in order to answer some questions about water in general. Okay. In order to continue. Kimberly, do you like that accent or not? What do you think about it?
I think it's okay, but sometimes it's a little bit hard to understand.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. So in here we have some questions that we can have about water. In here, in exercise number 8. Okay, you have 3 questions in there. Where do cities in your country get their water? How do we get their water here in Valparaiso, for example, or our region? Do you know?
No.
No, you don't know, Tiare? Valeria, Kimberly, do you know?
No.
No. Valeria, do you? Valeria, are you there?
In Valparaiso, I
Huh?
don't know.
You don't know. Okay, well, in Valparaiso, I think we have that big lake, which is kind of a dam here in Santo Sosa up Ruta 68. And in there we have like Peñuelas Lake. And all the water is taken from there. And then it's processed. And then we have our running water or tap water that has all those chemicals that, make the water clearer. In some cases, there is a lot of chlorine that is used, so the flavor of the water is not so good. Yeah, and well, that is how we get the water in Valparaiso. The problem is that nowadays Lake, Peñuelas Lake it doesn't have any water. Okay, so that is the main problem, because we're using that water not only for the people in the region, but also for fires. So the big helicopters and planes go there and take the water and then throw it to the fires, big fires that we have all the time in Valparaiso. So it's kind of complicated. Now the second question is: have there ever been any water shortages where you live, and what effect did they have? Do you remember any water shortage?
What is water shortage?
It's when they reduce the quantity of water that is that is that you receive in your house. It's a reduction of water, or it could be also a total reduction of water, so no water for days, for example. Have there ever been any water shortages in here? By the way, are you from Valparaiso? All of you, no? Tiare, are you from Valparaiso or Viña or Quilpue? Where are you from? Tiare?
Viña.
From Viña. And you, Kimberly?
I'm from Piña too.
And you,
Profe, entonces
Valeria?
en español sería como cuando cortan el agua, ¿a eso se refiere?
Something like that.
Okay.
Reduction of the water or total stop of the water, right?
Yeah, because that happens all the time when they want to repair something or when they want to fix. In some places, they just we have the water shortage.
Yeah, right. Valeria, where are you from?
San Antonio.
San Antonio. Okay, what about there? Do you have water shortages from time to time?
I don't think so. I
Yeah.
don't know, actually.
Yeah. In fact, we have water shortages. I don't know. I don't know your age when the earthquake was in 2010. All right, were you like how old were you? Around 8 or something like that, Valeria?
I was 15.
15. And you, Kimberly?
15.
15 too. And you, Tiare? Tiare? Oops, she's not
She was
there.
like 7.
I don't know. Well, in earthquakes, there are water shortages, you know, big water shortages. Sometimes I remember that in those days, we didn't have water for weeks. All
Can
right.
you
Sorry? Sorry? Any question? I was saying that for earthquakes, we had water shortages. Yeah. I remember that in 2010, we had like 1 month without water. I mean, so it was terrible. What effect did they have, these shortages? Well, you had to collect water from water trucks, like people in India. Okay, so you have to pick up the water. Everyone in the family had to collect water and then take it to their houses. So it was, a big problem. Yeah. Also, you can. What other things can happen if you don't have water? What effects can have in your life? Can you think of
I
any
think
other, Kimberly?
I think the access to water is the most important thing, more than electricity or gas,
Yeah.
because with water we do everything pretty much. We take showers, we go to the bathroom, and we use water. Not even to wash our hands, but also when we go to the WC, we need to use it in order to flush the toilets. So I think water is very important to stay hydrated and also for hygiene.
Yeah. And what effects did or can this cause if you don't have water? There might be infections, illnesses,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah,
because
like
people would be like without any healthy measures. Yeah. So though that although things can provoke big infections, big pandemic things. Okay, so water is so important that sometimes we don't know how important it is. Now, what can we do to protect water? For example, Valeria, what do you do? Do you protect your water? What do you do to protect the water?
My sister, when we took a shower, she collect the water in a recipiente.
Yeah, in a water tank or something, in a water container.
Yes, and she uses for the plants.
Okay, for plants. All right. Okay, that's one way of collecting water. Kimberly or Tiare, do you know any other thing or any other way of collecting, Tiare?
turning off the water when you take a shower or
Yeah,
when you brush your teeth?
yeah. All right. Okay. Kimberly, any other thing?
uh, people sometimes can save water or collect water from rain.
Yeah. All right. Like people in India. All right. They
Yeah.
collect water. Okay. Some other people do, for example, they put bottles. They put bottles in the in the toilet. Where you flush the toilet, if you put water, the amount of water that goes into the tank to flush the toilet, it is reduced. So instead of, I don't know how, 20 liters, you can collect only, I don't know, 15 liters. So you save 5 liters. Because sometimes when you flush the toilet, there are like, I don't know how many liters, but I would say that there are at least 10 liters of water that goes down. And sometimes you don't need that much, right? You don't need that much. I would say with 5 liters, with half that amount, you can flush the toilet without any problem. All right. So some people, what I've seen, some people put bottles inside, and so in that way they reduce the space for the water. So they don't need, or they don't put 10 liters, but 5 liters, which is pretty good. All right. It's a way of saving 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 that. Yeah, those are some things that we can do in order to protect the earth water. The main thing is when you take a shower, because sometimes we open the tap and we leave the water run, and the water runs and runs and runs, and obviously we are spending a lot of water in there. When you brush your teeth, also is another way of, you open the tap and you start brushing your teeth, and some people leave the water run. Yeah, so in that way we are spending a lot of water. So you can, while you are brushing your teeth, you can stop or close the tap, and then in that way you are saving water. Okay, girls, we are done with this now. So now we are going to go into the review. Okay, this review, we're going to do it right now, but very, very fast. Okay, in here, it says here, let's move a little bit. It says here, work in pairs. Look at the photo. Have you ever done anything like this? Have you ever done anything like this? Or would you like to do it? Would you like to do this or not?
No.
What about the
No,
rest?
I haven't.
No, no, I wouldn't. I mean, it's scary, If you know how to swim, you know how violent could be the water in the ocean sometimes. I know that the other time, Kimberly, you said that you like going to the beach, but you don't swim. You can't swim, right? Am I right or not?
Yeah, I can't swim.
You can't swim.
So I
And you,
stay
Karen,
in the
can
sand.
you swim?
Yes, I can swim, but I don't like the beach. The water is asquerosa para mí.
It's bad for you. Why?
Mm, no sé cómo decir. Me da asco.
But I don't know why. The water of the ocean.
Profe,
Yes.
because it's so dirty.
Yeah, but not. I mean, not that much, And there are some places
Ah,
in which the water is not that bad. Okay. Well, there are certain beaches, in which the water is really dirty, but I don't know. I mean, in some places, no. I think it's purer than, for example, when you swim in the. Do you swim in a swimming pool, Tiare?
yes, I prefer going to a swim pool.
Yeah, in a swimming pool, there is a lot of chlorine, right? So that is bad for you. And also, people pee in the swimming pool, okay? Kids pee in the swimming pool. So sometimes the water in the ocean is better than the water in a swimming pool, especially those swimming pools that are full of people. But anyway, I like the ocean. I like, for example, Coquimbo, Serena, Iquique. Those are wonderful beaches, and the water is not. I mean, it's not dirty. It's pretty good. Okay, yeah. But the thing is that it's kind of dangerous, of course. Okay, and in here, I want you to read this, and then we're going. You have to change the verbs that are badly used in here. So let's see. We're going to read it first, and then we're going to correct, if necessary, the tenses. Okay. Let's start by Valeria. Valeria, start reading, please. I learned
I learned to surf a few years ago when I was in my teens.
my teens.
Uh, my teens. My dad paid for lessons as a present because I just passed some important exams. It was a sunny weekend in June,
Mhm.
and the whole first day went by, and I didn't manage one successful ride.
Okay.
Oh,
Tiare, go on reading, please. All my friends.
me?
Tiare,
Okay.
All my friends
friends.
watched.
Tiare, friends.
All my friends.
No, no I. You say
Ah,
friends. It's friends. Forget about the I. Friends.
okay. All my friends
Yeah.
watched, and of course, I want, I wanted to impress them. I
Eventually,
eventually, ¿qué es eso?
paddled. To paddle,
Paddle out.
paddle is when you use those rowing things.
Okay.
It nice to paddle.
Paddle out for my last attempt of the day when the sun set over the bay. I scrambled
Yeah.
onto the board, and for the first time, I didn't fall off.
Fall off.
Rather, right away, fall off right away. I just got up on the board when someone almost crashed right into me, but I stay on.
All right. Okay. So in here you have a story which was written in the past. It was told in the past, but in here you have to use the three past forms. Okay, that is to say, simple past, past continuous, and past perfect. Before going into this, I would like you to tell me if you understand quite well the difference between one tense and the other. Simple past, past continuous, past perfect. Do you have it clear? I'm not talking about the structure of the form, okay, the way you write it, but also when to use it. Do you have it clear or not?
Could you explain it?
Yeah. Okay. I did something, but I don't know if you can see it. In here, let's see, I'm going to put it like this. I have you know, my little whiteboard. Okay. On top in here, I wrote 2020, 2019, 2015, 2014, and before that. So this is a timeline where now, and everything from here up to there is past tense. Can you see it or not? Can you see
Yes,
the whiteboard?
Yes.
Yes, all right. Okay. So you have now and you have all this which is past. But the past can be divided. Yeah. For example, I wrote now 2020, 2019. Okay. You were in UPLA. Before that, you were in high school. I wrote one high school, Eduardo de la Barra, which is the biggest in Valparaiso, but you could be in another high school. But you are now, you entered the UPLA in 2019. Before that, you were in high school. But there was a before that, right? Okay, all this is past. All this is past. But I wrote in here, okay, pre-past and past. And then now. You have now. What are you doing now? It says, I'm studying at UPLA now. Present continuous, present, right? Past tense. I studied at UPLA last year, right? I studied high school from 2014 to 2018, right? But in one point in the past, in 2015, I was studying at that precise moment, I was studying at Eduardo de la Barra. So I was studying is past continuous or past progressive.
Profe, ¿puede subir un poco la pizarra? Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So in 2015, I was studying at Eduardo La Barra. I'm talking about one precise moment in the past. Past, but one precise moment. But there was another past before that, and that is the past perfect. Before that, before 2014, I had studied in other two high schools. Yeah, I had studied is past perfect, and you use it to talk about an action that occurred in the past, but previous to another action. All right, previous to another action. So when you are talking in the past, you can divide moments in the past. When you talk about the past in general, you use simple past. I studied in Valparaiso. If you want to identify one precise moment in the past and what you were doing at that precise moment, you use the past continuous. In 2015, I was studying at that moment at Eduardo de la Barra High School. And if you want to talk about an event that happened before that, you said, before that, before 2014, I had already studied in other two high schools, right? So that is when you are talking about the past. So there is not only one simple past form. There are three past forms to talk about the past. Okay? If you want to know it, or understand it also, you say estudié o estudiaba. That is simple past. Estaba estudiando for a moment in the past y había estudiado for something that happened before another action. Okay? So that is the use of the past in general. Okay? Could you get it?
Yes.
Yes, Tiare?
Yes.
Yes. Valeria? Valeria?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. All right? So we're going to read this and try to do this exercise. It says, I learned to surf a few years ago. That is totally correct, yeah, because you're talking in the past, an action that is finished. I learned to surf a few years ago when I was in my teens. No problem about that. My dad paid for lessons as a present because I just passed some important exams. Is it correct? Is it correct?
I think that no,
Yeah, why?
because we have a just, and when we use just, we have to use a past perfect.
Right. Okay. So how would you do it then, Tiare? Because
I had just passed
past
passed some
some
important
important exam.
exams.
Right. Good. Very good, Tiare. Okay, so había pasado recién, right? So I learned to surf a few years ago when I was in my teens. My dad paid for lessons as a present because I had just passed some important exams. Yeah. So let's continue. It was a sunny weekend in June, and the whole first day went by, and I didn't manage one successful ride. So in here, era un día soleado, ¿no es cierto? En un fin de semana soleado, de junio. Y todo el primer día, ahí, in here, he's talking about something that happened before that. Había estado como ahí haciéndolo y no había tenido o no había arreglado ninguna right, ¿cómo se traduce right? No había hecho ninguna salida buena, por ejemplo, exitosa. So in there, you're talking about past perfect, okay? In here, past perfect. So it would be diare. June and the whole first date
Had gone by,
and
I didn't manage,
no.
was successful.
So it's past perfect. So I had gone.
Oh. And I hadn't
Yeah.
managed with
Managed.
ed.
Hadn't
Yes,
managed. One
managed.
successful. Right. Remember, Kimberly, that uh, past perfect, you do it with have, the negative. So hadn't managed. Hadn't managed one successful ride. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, all my friends, yeah, all my friends watched, and of course, I wanted to impress them. What happened with their friends? All my friends
We're watching.
were watching, yes. All my friends were watching, and of course, I wanted to impress them. I eventually paddled out for my last attempt of the day when the sun, yeah, when you have when, usually you have what? Two
Past.
actions, right? One that was happening together with the other one. Yeah. You can say here, I eventually paddled out for my last attempt of the day when the sun was setting over the bay. Ya. O sea, remé o me fui, ¿no es cierto?, por mi último intento del día cuando el sol se estaba poniendo. At that precise moment, you're talking about something that was happening at that precise moment. So, and normally when you have when or while, there are two actions that are happening like in a parallel way. Yeah. When you use while, usually both are ing. While I was reading while my mother was cooking. Estaba leyendo mientras mi mamá estaba haciendo otra cosa. And when you use when, normally one is simple past and the other past progressive. Yeah. I arrived when they were watching TV. Llegué cuando ellos estaban viendo televisión. ¿Se fijan? So when you have a when or a while, normally there is one past continuous form with ing. Yeah. Okay. So let's continue. Then I scrambled onto the board, and for the first time, I didn't fall off right away. That is correct. Me subí a la tabla y por primera vez no me caí. ¿Ya? I just got up on the board. Aquí estamos, ¿se recuerdan? I'm going to say it in Spanish. Cuando ustedes están enumerando acciones, normalmente usan el pasado. Y todas en el mismo orden, todo en el mismo tiempo. Dice aquí, me subí o sea que cuando uno scramble es como rodar sobre. Me subí en la tabla por primera vez. Y por primera vez no me caí. Solo me levanté en la tabla cuando cuando alguien casi crashed right into me. But I stayed on. All right? Todo eso está en pasado simple, porque está enumerando. Me subí, no me caí, me levanté y alguien casi me chocó. Pero me quedé ahí, permanecí. ¿Ok? Tratando de explicar esta idea de los pasados en español para que les quede más claro aún. El pasado simple lo usan para una acción que está terminada o para una acción que está terminada pero pueden enumerarla. Pero todas las acciones están terminadas. ¿Ya? el pasado continuo o progresivo se usa para un momento en el pasado en el cual ustedes describen la acción que estaba ocurriendo. ¿Ya? En ese momento yo estaba haciendo tal cosa, estaba haciendo, y ahí usan el be con el ing. Y el pasado perfecto lo usan para hablar, cuando ustedes han hablado de una situación que ocurrió en el pasado, pero después quieren decir, antes de lo que estoy relatando, había ocurrido tal cosa. Y ese había ocurrido lo usan con el pasado perfecto. ¿Ya? Ahora, cuando uno está hablando, ¿no es cierto? When you're talking, you use all of them together. But you have to have your mind well organized. Yeah. So if you want to retell something, you need the three forms of the past, not only one, but the three of them. Yeah. Cuando uno está relatando algo, necesita las tres formas: el pasado simple, el pasado continuo y el pasado perfecto. Porque uno se va, a veces no va en forma lineal relatando, porque va como saltando. Ya, yo hice tal cosa y tal cosa, en ese momento hice esto otro, y antes había hecho esto otro. Se fijan que en castellano también lo hacemos igual. It is the same thing that we do in Spanish. All right? Okay. I think that the other things that we have here in the review are not so important. Yeah, here we have some questions. For example, how many times did you use water yesterday? What did you use it for? Can you name or can you mention the times that you use water? I think it is kind of difficult. Yeah, the other question, Kimberly, do you think you waste water and why? Kimberly?
Why?
Do you waste water, Kimberly, or not?
Yeah, even though I try to save water, sometimes I forget that I have to do it, so I will end up wasting a lot of water. Like, let's say when I wash my dogs, right? I will take a long time, and it should be something short, to waste the least water as possible. But sometimes I do it unconsciously, and then I realize that it was wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Tiare, do you waste water?
Yes, I think that I waste water when I take a shower.
All right. So how long does your shower last? How many minutes? How many?
8 minutes.
8 minutes? Do you think
Yes.
8 minutes is enough? Or could it be
Yes.
less than that?
I think that is enough.
Is enough? Okay. I think it's very good. Huh? I mean, probably I take more than that. I waste a lot of money when I take a shower, and I don't even have hair, which should be shorter. My shower should be shorter because I don't have hair. You have a lot of hair, you know. I know that women spend a lot of water when they wash their hair, right? Because they need water, right? And what about you, Valeria? Do you waste water?
Yes, I think when I boil water for cooking, or when I wanna take a shower and I wait for the hot water.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, when you open the tap and you want the water to get warm. Okay, so you have to wait, especially in winter time when the water is very cold, and then you are waiting for the water to go out uh, warmer, you know, so as not to be so cold. Yeah, you leave the water run. You know, some people do other things, like for example, like when they some people that have a car, when they wash their cars, they spend a lot of water. Or when you water the plants, sometimes, you know, you leave the water for a long time. I know that it's nice to water the plants, but sometimes it's too much time. Okay. Uh, Now, water sports. Can you tell me now what water sports do you remember? the other time we were mentioning some water sports. What water sports do you remember? Do you remember any? We were observing some others. Kimberly,
Can you repeat the question, please?
talk about water sports. What water
Uh,
sports do you remember?
we talked about water rafting, I remember.
Yeah, rafting. That's one.
Um,
What other?
kayaking.
Open your microphones, and if you want to say something, you can do it. Okay.
We also talked about kayaking.
Kayaking, right? Any other?
Windsurfing,
Windsurfing, yes.
swimming,
Swimming, right? Yeah. Okay, we have, yeah, fishing, rowing, windsurfing, kayaking. Well, we learned some of them, all right? Okay, so yeah. And which is the one that you like the most? Kimberly, do you have any water sport that you like the most?
I've never done any water sports, but I would like to do water rafting, even though it's a little bit dangerous. Mister, is
Yeah,
fishing consider a water sport?
yeah, because you do it in water. You can do it in a lake. You can do it in a lake. The thing is that a little bit different because it's kind of passive. All right, you are just standing there, but it's a water sport because you go into the water sometimes. Some people do it in boats. They go inside the ocean, and then they fish in there, and they have big fish. They get big fish in the water. So it's considered a water sport too. Uh, I did kayaking once. It's nice. It's very relaxing, you know. Sailing is another sport which is relaxing, but you have to have a lot of money. You have you have to have a boat, a sailing boat, which are very expensive. But I also did once. I was invited to do sailing, and it's nice, you know, especially in a lake. You are all so relaxed. It's really wonderful. Okay, those are some water sports, and that's it, I think. All right. So before going into the next unit, um, I want you to see the one another exercise with the with the past forms. I don't know if you did it. I sent it in in for the last class, and it was also with the three forms of the past. Wait, oops, there we go. Wait, I have it in here. Test English. I sent it in the last. I uploaded. Okay, so I'm going to give you some minutes for you to complete it. Write, for example, what I'm going to put them like this. I don't know if it, okay. Choose. Okay. What would you put in there? You have three options: past progressive, past perfect, past simple. It was
Was watching.
it was on the afternoon. I
Was watching.
yeah was watching a cookery program on TV when I
Realize.
realized how hungry I was. But of course I was hungry. But, but of course I was hungry. I
Hadn't eaten.
hadn't eaten anything since lunch. And I a race in the morning?
I ran.
He was hungry at the moment, but the race was in the morning.
Had run.
Had run, yes. And I had run a race in the morning. Biscuits. I biscuits is like an expression. Sí. De veras.
Thought.
I thought. My mother, me a jar of delicious homemade biscuits.
Gave.
¿Cuál fue primero? ¿Qué era primero? Lo que yo dije ahora, mi pensamiento o la preparación de las galletas.
Had given.
Had given me a jar. Ya, claro. Mi madre me había dado un frasco con deliciosas galletas hechas en casa. Right? I
Went.
into the kitchen.
The last one.
Opened the fridge and
Poured.
poured some milk in a big glass. Yeah. You are enumerating here, see? Went into the kitchen, opened the fridge, and poured some milk in a big glass, right? Then I, for the kitchen chair, then I
Was looking.
was looking. I think that the idea is the same. I went into the kitchen, opened the fridge, and poured some milk in a big glass.
Look.
Then I looked for the kitchen chair, but it
Wasn't.
wasn't there. Somebody it away. Somebody
Took.
alguien la sacó, la estaba sacando o la había sacado.
Had taken.
Had taken. Had taken. Esto pasó antes. Yo busqué la silla, no estaba la silla. O sea, la silla había sido sacada antes, la habían sacado antes. Antes de lo que yo estoy haciendo ahora. Yeah. Had taken it away. And there were no biscuits in the biscuit jar. Somebody, them all.
Had eaten.
Had eaten them all. I was sure the jar, there the previous day.
Had put.
Had put the jar there the previous day. And I, only one cookie. And I
Ate.
look at
Had
this.
eaten.
Yeah.
Had
If you
eaten.
had put, and then you have and, then you have to repeat the tense. Había puesto el jarro, o el jarro, bien digo, ahí el día previo, y había comido solo una galleta. It was very strange. A few minutes later, my glass of milk when I
Was drinking.
yeah, because you have a when here. So I was drinking my glass of milk when oops, a loud noise coming from the dining room.
Heard.
When I heard, yes, a loud noise coming from the dining room. I there quickly.
Went.
I went there quickly and the door.
Open it.
Yeah, opened the door. I couldn't believe my eyes. An enormous monkey, the biscuits excitedly in the kitchen chair. I couldn't believe my eyes. An enormous monkey
Was eating.
was eating the biscuits excitedly on the kitchen chair. Okay, there you go. Okay, so now I want you to read it. Let's start by Kimberly this time. Start reading, Kimberly. It was
It was Sunday afternoon. I was watching a cookery program on TV when I realized how hungry I was. But of course, I was hungry. I hadn't eaten anything since lunch, and I had run a race in the morning. Biscuits. Thought
biscuit.
I thought my mother had given me a jar of delicious homemade biscuits.
No, it's biscuits, not biscuits. Biscuits.
Biscuits.
That's right. Okay, continue reading Tiare, please.
I went into the kitchen, opened the fridge, and poured some milk in a big glass. Then I looked for the kitchen chair, but I
Chair.
wasn't there.
Kitchen chair.
Kitchen chair, but it wasn't there. Somebody had taken it away, and there were no biscuits in
Biscuit.
the biscuit
No,
biscuit
biscuits.
biscuit in the biscuit jar. Somebody had eaten them all. I was sure I had put the jar there the previous day, and I had eaten only one cookie. It was very strange.
Okay, Valeria.
A few minutes later, I was drinking my glass of milk when I heard a loud noise coming from the dining room. I went there quickly and I opened the door. I couldn't believe my eyes. An enormous monkey was
Monkey.
eating the
Not
biscuits.
monkey. Monkey. Monkey.
Monkey. An enormous monkey was eating the biscuits excitedly
Excitedly.
in the
Excitedly.
kitchen chair.
Yeah,
Excitedly.
on the kitchen chair. All right, good. See, here you are using the three past forms. As a homework, I would like you to read it aloud. Read it aloud as a practice for pronunciation, and also because your mind start like in you know accepting the three uses of past forms. So it would be a very good exercise if you could read them, read all the thing, and read all the past forms in there as a way of pronouncing and as a way of understanding the use of the past. Okay. As I always said, try to exaggerate the sounds when you are reading, because it's a good way. Now, when you do it at home, you can also respect, for example, the punctuation, when to stop. For example, in here, uh, in number 13, for example, somebody had eaten them all. I was sure. So you have to make a pause in there. Somebody had eaten them all. I was sure I had put the jar there the previous day, and I had eaten only one cookie. It was very strange. See, punctuation gives you an extra possibility to read it better. All right. So yeah, we have 5 minutes, and that would be all in relation to this unit. I know that you already started the unit with Miss Patty. Yeah. So now we have to continue with 4C. I have to do 4C. In this part, we're going to talk about money, economy, and work. All right, those three topics we have to know. So I open here, some words of economy. No, it's not that. This is the one that I want. No, wait. Here, some business vocabulary. Do you know anything about business? Business is complicated in general. So we're going to learn a little bit about business and finance, or finance, you can say also. For example, banks and business. Yeah. First of all, starting, do you belong to any bank? Do you have any account in a bank? For example, Valeria, do you have an account in a bank?
I have one, but I had like 13 pesos.
I have what? Sorry?
13. No
13
more
what?
than that.
13 what?
Pesos.
Pesos.
13 pesos. Yes.
Yeah, very, very little money, but you have an account.
Yeah.
And what,
Yeah.
from what bank is your account?
Banco Estado.
Banco Estado. What about you, Tiare? Do you have an account?
No, I haven't.
No, I don't have. You don't have an account, right? Why not, Tiare?
Mm, I only have cuenta root.
How about that's an account? Cuenta root is an account. It's
Mm,
a open account, very easily to get the money out of it. Okay. You have different types of accounts. You have a savings account or a regular account. I think that cuenta root is an account in the bank. What about you, Kimberly? Do you have money in the
I
bank?
also have cuenta root,
Cuenta root. All right.
and that's it.
Okay. Okay. So here we're going to read a little bit about. I put in red all the words that are connected with business and financial things. Okay. Let's start. It says here, companies often borrow money from banks to finance investments. Yeah. Borrow. What is to borrow? Do you know the word borrow?
Somebody lends you money or to ask for
Okay. In Spanish, borrow and lend is kind of the same thing, right? Like it's kind of the same word, but there is a difference between borrow and lend. Can you see the difference between borrow and lend?
no.
No? What about the other girls, Tiare and Valeria? Do you know the difference between borrow and lend? Valeria, Tiare?
no.
No. You, Valeria?
I think, but I don't remember exactly which is what.
Which is which? Yeah. You borrow something from a place. For example, if you need a book, you go to the library and you borrow the book from the library, right? You borrow the book from the library. So the library lends you the book. Yeah. For example, if you need money, as I am so good teacher and so good person, I'm going to lend you money, right? How much do you need? 10 lucas? Well, I'm going to lend you 10 lucas, right? That is to lend you money. But you borrow money from another person, or you borrow money from the library. Okay? Can you get it?
Yes.
Yes. Open your
Yes.
microphones because I want you to have a conversation. Okay? So as not to ask you, open your microphones. I want you to open your microphones right now. Open. Okay, Tiare, yeah. Okay. So borrow is pedir prestado. Lend es prestar. So I lend you. Yo te presto. But you borrow from me. Usted me pide prestado a mí. Right? So that is the difference between borrow and lend. So here it says companies often borrow money from banks. Yeah. What for? To finance investments. What is an investment? Things they need to buy to help the company in future. For example, machines. So when you invest money, you invest to get something out of it. All right. Uh, for example, if let's say that I have a company, a tourism company. So I need a small minibus to take tourists around the city. So if I buy that bus, is an investment. I am investing my money in order to have more money with it. Okay, those are investments. So what do I do in order to pay for that investment? I go to the bank and I borrow money from the bank. And with that money, I can finance the payment of the bus. Okay. Okay. So, Kimberly, read the
Mhm.
rest. This money
Uh,
here, this money.
this money is called a loan, and companies have to pay interest on it. For example, if you borrow 1,000 for a year and the interest rate is 10%, then you have to pay back 1,000 plus 100 in interest.
All right. So that is what you do. You need money, you go to the bank, you borrow money, so you get a loan. Okay? You get a loan. So the money gives you money to you for you to pay what you need. So that is a loan, right? And when you have a loan, you have to return or to pay back. You have to pay back the money to the bank, but they charge you interest. Okay? 10%, 20%. When you pay back, you pay the money that you owe plus the interest. All right. And sometimes the interest is pretty high. All right, pretty high. In the case of the university, I don't know if you are, if you don't pay anything, but if you pay, sometimes you ask for a loan to the bank to pay your, your I mean, the loan that you have, right? Okay. Okay, so we will continue with this next class, and I will upload it. So now you have classes with Miss Patty, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so salúdenla. So yeah, that's all for today. I'm not going to upload this immediately because I want to read it next class, and then I will upload it for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So have a good time, girls. Say
You
hello.
too. Bye,
Bye.
Profe.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.